cerebrovascular accidents, CVAs. So if I look at that word, cerebro would be the brain and vascular would be blood. So the blood supplies oxygen and other things to the brain. Oxygen is super important to the functioning of the brain, and the brain will, the cells will begin to die if they are deprived of oxygen. So CVAs include strokes, and there's two different types of strokes. The most common type of stroke is called an ischemic stroke. And this is where we get blockage of a blood vessel. So heart attacks kill more people, but right behind the heart attacks would be these cerebrovascular accidents, including strokes. And so these blood clots that would cause a heart attack could also get into the small blood vessels that serve the brain. And sometimes these strokes are mini strokes, and so they're called transient. So we could talk about these transient ischemic strokes, or are they TIAs? Transient ischemic stroke. Yes, TIA, attack. There we go. So transient ischemic attack is a mini stroke. Transient means that it doesn't last long. So sometimes you can have mini strokes leading up to a larger stroke. And so there has been a lot of recently trying to get the word out about what are the symptoms of strokes. So for example, if you see somebody and their face is asymmetric, that could be a sign of a stroke. Or if they just temporarily become paralyzed on one side of the body, or if they lose the ability to speak. And so all of those things are important and should be signs that you need to go to the emergency room. Oftentimes what tends to happen is that somebody will have these mini strokes and then they'll like, oh, I don't know what that was. And they just kind of ignore it. And then they go to bed and then they might have a big stroke overnight, which either kills them or leaves them permanently disabled. So there are drugs that can be taken to break up these clots, these plaque buildups in the bloodstream, and prevent permanent damage to the brain. They can also put stents, like they do in the heart blood vessels, in, say, for example, your carotid arteries to try to open them up so that they don't become blocked. So this is ischemic stroke. Most strokes are ischemic, but however, there can also be hemorrhagic strokes. So let's look at a diagram that shows these two different types of strokes. Ischemic, we have a clot or a plaque buildup in the blood vessel. The hemorrhagic has to do with the rupturing of the blood vessel. So here we see that a blood vessel has been ruptured and that we're starting to get a buildup of a hematoma on the surface of the brain. And so this can also be very, very dangerous. And the pressure that's exerted by that buildup of blood can be damaging as well. So the two different types of cerebrovascular accidents are the ischemic stroke and the hemorrhagic stroke.